You're still listening to the robot voice.
It talks about the zone of proximal development and scaffolding, which are two important things that can come out of play, and it's our job to kind of get the kids to those spots by scaffolding and guiding based on whatever it is that they're doing in play, which we will talk about. So I love this quote from Bruner, which is, "We only truly know what we have discovered for ourselves." And it's kind of true. If we don't do it, we don't know it. And I know I'm a hands-on learner. If you just sit there and talk to me the whole time, I'm not gonna sink. Nothing's going to sink in. So what I'm gonna try, this is gonna be pretty hands-on in a little bit. So because I want you to play and work together. So play is a means to early learning that capitalizes on children's natural curiosity and exuberance. And kids are so curious. There's a big log in my science center right now, and I haven't got rid of it because I kind of think it's cool, but the kids were outside playing in where they weren't supposed to be playing in the forest, and they found this log, and it had so many freaking ants on it, it was insane, and they brought it into the classroom, and we watched the ants go and tunnel, there's little holes through it, and we watched them tunnel in there, and I'm not really sure where all the ants went afterwards, because they're gone. But it was kind of neat, and then the kids got to pull the birch bark, or the bark off of it, and then they played with the bark, and then it all crumbled, and they wondered why it crumbled, but it's because it was rotten. And it was kind of neat to watch them go through that process of trying to learn and watch the ants go everywhere. And I probably should have got the ants out of here before. I have no idea. They must have made their way outside. So play builds on cognitive skills and contributes to social, emotional, and language development. It expands the children's intelligence. It allows children to apply new language and test the reasoning associated with literacy, math, and science concepts. It's the easiest way to teach them those skills with math and science. And their oral language comes out of there when they're playing. It stimulates the imagination and encourages creative problem solving. It develops their confidence and their self-esteem. They realize their strengths and their areas for improvement and a positive attitude toward learning. I remember a few years ago when I taught SK1, I had a little guy in my class, and we were doing some language activities. So I did have centers out, but they could go to whatever they wanted to. And he went to a center where I had little letters in a jar, and they had to sort the letters out to try to figure out what the sight word was. And he's like, "I just love this time." He's like, "I love playing." And I was like, "Well, you're learning." And he went, "What do you mean I'm learning?" And I said, "Well, you're making the words." And he's like, "Oh." And he was just like amazed that I was letting him play by himself, but he was learning all of our sight words, and I was not telling him to do that at all. And play is a significant factor in brain and muscle development. And that, if you've read the Shanker books, he's all about that. And Fraser Mustard is actually Anne Rainey's father, who works at our school. So it's kind of neat that his stuff comes up over and over again.